Hey, everybody, we're back again. It's Friday night. Thanks for being here on Friday PM. I want to thank all of our guests so far, but right now I'm really excited to introduce my co-producing partner, Warren Edgar. Warren is producing a new show. It's the second season, actually, so it's not quite a new show, but the new season of Ask Christina Anything. Ask Christina Anything is a advice and relationship show centering on all ages, where they talk about people's questions about their relationships, how they can fix them, red flags. There's a new segment, I don't want to spoil too much, but called Red Flags. I think you guys are going to be
Yes. Yep.
introducing. So there's a lot of different interesting things going on in this show. And I want to talk to Warren more about it. So enough about me. Thank you very much for being here, Warren. I appreciate
Thank you. Thank you for having me back on.
it. Yeah,
And I
sure.
think it was about a year ago now that I first sat down with you
Yeah.
and we talked about Ask Christina Anything, the premiere of it, as well as the premiere of the show Date Night,
Yes.
and how they were kind of coming in as this duo. And now the season 2 of Ask Christina Anything, it got a lot of great feedback, a lot of great, people were loving it. And so we decided, let's make a season 2. And it's incredible. And I think what is key about this show is that these are real people with real problems, and these are real questions. And you're right about they're asking these questions to Christina LaBelle, who is an intimacy expert, who is a relationship expert, and she tackles these questions head on, and she gives them professional advice about how they can adapt their relationships, advice that they can use in their relationships or with sex problems they're having or intimacy problems that they're having. And I think that is what's key about this show, and that's what makes it stand out.
So for the older viewers out there, Dr. Ruth was very well known for this. Then there was the guys that had the show called Loveline.
Yep.
That was Dr. Drew and a couple of Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew Pinsky. And so it's been a tried and true thing. But what's very interesting about this is Christina is younger. It's not like an old, therapist or something like that. It doesn't feel as though it's that older kind of finger wagging type of thing. She's very open about a lot of things. You guys
Yeah.
touch on a lot of issues. I mean, has there been anything that you've done on the show that's kind of made you blush so far, where you thought, "Whoa, this is wild"?
Well, no, I mean, to your point, she is someone who is young, who is hip, and she really does a good job exploring almost anything.
Right, right.
And I think that's what's really big about this show is that it is focusing on every single topic,
Right.
on everything that we bring up, on any question that our viewers are asking. In my opinion, I don't think anything's off the table.
Right, right.
Because once again, these are real people with real problems. And we may be fun and goofy sometimes because
Right,
as you mentioned, we have a new a lightning round segment where we flash out
Right.
of these red flags or not, and Christina answers them. But at the end of the day, we really get into real conversations. We talk about childhood trauma. We talk about domestic violence. We talk about manipulation and abuse within relationships. These are real fundamental problems that it's not all slapstick humor.
Yeah.
This is an actual show. And it really gets back to my original point. These are real people with real problems who are getting the courage to then ask these questions to us.
Yeah, and I think that at Christina's age, and especially even your age, because you're younger than Christina, you guys are delving into a lot of topics that a lot of older people wouldn't even really know that much about when it comes to the new age of digital and social media and how that can affect real human relationships. Like I remember earlier on, I think in season 1, and you probably delve into it again in season 2, is how unrealistic standards or just the things that are online that can influence a lot of ways in relationships that didn't happen before we were so kind of online as a people, but especially people younger than 40 or 50, and how much that affects that ability to have strong relationships. And I'm sure you guys talk about that a lot, right? Is that kind of part of it, trying to talk to younger people, or maybe sometimes even their parents that might be watching this, that want to understand what's going on with younger people? Because these could be relationship things that they've never even thought about that their kids could be having.
No, I mean, and I think this show really is, in television, we talk a lot about demographics and what's the show targeting in terms of demographics.
Yep.
I would argue that this show is for everybody.
Right.
And to your point, this family could definitely be for parents about, these are the dangers of not only your child on the internet, having conversations with people that they don't know, but also like, well, what is my child doing? Like, what
Right.
are these modern relationships? Should I be concerned?
Yeah.
And I think to parents' point, this is a show that can help address a lot of that.
Right.
But it's also for younger individuals, younger people who might just be starting out and not knowing what these red flags are and not knowing what these relationships are like. And, to find out, oh, you know what, maybe I should be looking at this in a different way than I have been looking at it. I think that is that is incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I think that's it. You bring up an interesting topic in the sense that when you are talking about new things that not only the red flags or I've broken up with my boyfriend or girlfriend or these things, but also you guys will probably touch on things that are younger people and the new dynamics. Like you said, I mean, there's older people that don't understand any of the pronouns, right? That don't understand all kinds of new dynamics. There may be other situations that are from online or other ways where there's new relationship dynamics. Like you're talking about where there might be more people in one relationship than just two people.
Yes.
And that might be fine with younger people, but their parents might think of that as odd or who knows, right? And you guys deal with a lot of that stuff too.
Well, that's right. And I think it really comes down to in today's day and age, there are a lot of alternative lifestyles.
Yes.
And I would even go as far as to say, I think nowadays it's more publicized.
Yes.
That these, unordinary lifestyles, I'm not condemning them. These lifestyles, they are more in the public eye. They're through social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. These are platforms, TikTok. These are platforms that can really demonstrate to younger people, hey, these are people who, maybe think the way you think and have decided upon this. And to your point about there's relationships where it's more than one than two people.
Yeah.
It's and then you have same-sex relationships and couples. And we recently touched on that in an episode about your partner coming out to you as bisexual. How does that change your dynamic? That can shake up your entire world. But how do you deal with that? And these are real problems that have affected people.
Yeah, and I mean, I think even though it's on social media, but you guys are talking about it in more of a candid way, and people can get in touch with her.
That's
I mean,
right.
we'll have ways to ask a question and info and things of that nature. But I think that is an interesting point that you bring up, which is it's always for the good, but that it's when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, even being gay, for example, was something that was being in the closet.
Yeah.
People were worried because somebody might beat them up.
Yeah.
Or they would be shunned or all these things. Now with social media, people have kind of said, look, this is who I am and all these things. And that's great too, but it's also more confusing for a lot of people because now the floodgates kind of opened up and there's a lot of new dynamics out there. So you guys are both in the, kind of modern generation. I know Christina's a couple years older than you, but you guys are all very kind of literate to social media, new media.
Yeah. To your point about how these alternative lifestyles are and different relationships are now, they're prevalent, and also as a culture, we are more inclusive. And I think that is a huge thing. And I think a lot of that social media has brought about that. I would actually argue that this connection to information has helped people has helped people be seen.
Yes.
And I think that was something that wasn't available prior to that.
Yeah.
But I also, to your point, what this show really does is it's not comparing or contrasting or condemning anything like that. It's explaining it.
Yes.
And it's explaining it in a way that not only can young people understand it, but even older individuals can explain it. And even circling back to your question, to your point about parents watching this show, I think that is definitely a core demographic in that these parents, who don't understand, who may be, ignorant to these things. I'm not saying, they're intending anything malicious, but they're looking at this and they're going, well, I don't understand this. This wasn't around when I was a kid. But watching this show and hearing us explain it in the way that we explain it, I've heard from a lot of people who have gone, the advice that you've given on this show is incredibly valuable.
Spot on. Yeah,
and has moved me.
And independent and non-judgmental, and and I think that that's the point. Is like these things were out there.
Yeah,
it's that social media it's a larger community, and there's always a better opportunity for acceptance.
Yeah,
the larger the community, and the online community is a massive.
Yeah,
so that a lot of people don't feel as constrained as if they were in a small town or things like that. And I think it's great that we have this show. I mean, it's for people in Maine. It's for outside of it, because we're going to be on YouTube also. We've had season 1 on a lot of streaming platforms. We'll be out there on YouTube.
It is literally for everyone. I mean, literally everyone is to watch this show.
Yeah.
This is national.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. You can watch us, not only on Channel 5 at 10 p.m. every Friday night, but, we're on, the network here, PMC. They have their own streaming platform, pmcwatch.com.
Yep.
You can go watch there. You can go watch on YouTube.
Yep.
And we are going to be rolling it out to as many streamers as we can.
Exactly.
Because once again, we've gotten so much good feedback on the show. And also, I think even, to even widen the lens even further, what I love about this new season is the set.
Yes.
We are in a beautiful, beautiful home, this mansion, call it, and it is absolutely beautiful. And I think, production-wise, we've gone all out, and we have really captured a beautiful, beautiful set.
It looks great. Everything, all the production is top-notch, shot in 4K. And the shows are each about a half hour long.
Yeah.
She covers 4 or 5 different topics in depth. Go ahead.
It's 4 topics per show plus a lightning round.
Yeah.
It's about half an hour. If you're watching on TV, online, of course, we have versions of it without commercial breaks.
Yep.
So it's cut down probably like 20 minutes-ish.
Okay.
And then also each individual question, we're uploading standalone videos.
Standalone video. And they can watch the first episode of that, hopefully tonight at 10 p.m.
That's right. Tonight at 10 p.m., it is premiering the first episode of season 2 of Ask Christina Anything.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you so much, Warren.
Thank you.
If we have time, we're going to come back with a local gentleman named Will Zircon. Will's got a beef, and he wants to talk a little bit about this beef and how it affects all of us as taxpayers and things like that. It's a great public interest story. So thanks for being here. Stick with us. We'll be right back.